right, so the first thing we are going to do is we are going to have just a little mini spelling test on a couple of words that you guys have already studied, okay? So hopefully you remember your spelling strategies and you practiced and you'll be able to spell the words correctly this time. So I want you to put on one of your index cards that you have, put the numbers 1 and 2 and put your name on the index card. And then I'm going to read the word, I'm going to read a sentence with the word, and then I'll read the word again. You only have to write the word, okay? Does everybody understand that?
Yes.
Are you writing the word or the sentence?
Word.
Just the word, good job. Okay, all right, so are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, number 1, either. I left my book either on the kitchen table or on the living room. Either. You can use your other index card to cover your answers. Ready for number 2?
Yes.
Okay, number 2, couldn't. I couldn't remember where I put my book. Couldn't. Be careful with where that apostrophe goes.
That's easy.
Okay? All done?
Yes.
Okay, I'll take your index cards. I will grade those later, and we'll see how you did.
Oh, I'm scared.
No, just the one that you put your answers on.
Did we have to write the name?
No, that's fine. As long as your name is on it, that's fine. Okay, thank you. Okay, today we are going to be reading a book, or the first part, the first chapter of the book. It's a short novel called The 100 Dresses, and it is by Eleanor Estes, and it's illustrated by Louis Slobodkin. So this is a story about a girl named Wanda. And Wanda wears the same blue dress to school every day. And the other kids kind of start a game where they're teasing her about wearing the same dress to school every day because she says that at home she has 100 dresses. So they're a little bit curious about that. Why she says she has 100 dresses, but yet she wears the same dress to school every day. So what we're going to do is, we're going to read the first chapter. I want you to read it independently. You can read it in a soft voice or a whisper if you would like to. And I'm going to listen to 2 of you read just 1 page aloud today. And then the rest of you I'll get to listen to tomorrow, okay? So Juanita and Valeria, I'm going to listen to you read just a little bit today while the others are reading independently, okay? But first what I'd like for you to do is just kind of look at the pictures in chapter 1 and just think to yourself for a second. And think to yourself about what you see, what might be happening in the pictures. I'll give you just about another minute just to think to yourselves. And then really quickly, if Juanita and Valeria, if you 2 will turn and talk and just kind of discuss what you see in the pictures and maybe what some of your wonderings are, okay? So maybe you can say, I see, and then I wonder, okay? And you 3 will do the same thing, okay, Barbara, Christian, and Luis. Just kind of describe what you see in the pictures and what you maybe wonder, okay? I'll give you about 1 minute.
I see that Wanda is going to school.
I see that Wanda is passing by her neighborhood, and I wonder if she's sad because they bully her.
I wonder if she is going to school or not.
like to tell me what they noticed from the pictures? Byron?
That probably she can't afford a car. That her parents can't afford a car.
So is that something you see or something you're wondering?
Wondering
So what do you see that made you wonder that?
that she walks home and that she has like kind of that house.
Okay, all right, so she's walking and it looks like maybe her house is not,
Very good, and I think she doesn't have her parents.
maybe she doesn't have her parents, okay? So that could be a wondering. Okay, Juanita?
I wonder if her parents even take care of her.
Okay. What else? What did you see or what do you wonder?
I wonder if she lives with her parents or with someone else.
Okay, what did you see that made you wonder that?
Because she's walking alone.
She's walking alone, okay. What else? Anything else? Did you want to share what your wondering was, Christian?
It says 100 dresses, so I'm thinking she does have 100 dresses, but they're all the same.
Maybe they're all the same dress, okay, that could be a possibility, okay. So I'm just gonna write down some of your wonderings and some of the things that you noticed about the pictures so that when we discuss a little bit about the book later, we can come back to some of those and see if some of those will be confirmed. Now, we won't learn everything in the one chapter that we're going to read today, but as we get more into the book and into the story, I think a lot of those wonderings will be answered and we'll have some answers to those questions, okay? All right, so now what I would like for you to do is just read the first chapter to yourself. If you finish, go ahead and read it again, okay? You can make note of any words that maybe you're not sure about so we can discuss those, okay? And I'm gonna give you a little bit of time to read it to yourself and then I'll have Juanita, you'll read for me first and then Valeria, okay? What question do you have?
So we read here and here only?
No, you're gonna read the whole first chapter and then I'll tell you when I'm ready for you to read for me and what part you're gonna read for me.
Wait, where's the whole chapter?
The whole chapter.
The whole entire
The,
book?
the whole first chapter.
So this and this.
The whole first chapter. Keep
The whole
going.
book.
You don't have the whole book, you have the whole first
Oh,
chapter.
there, it's only this.
So where the text ends,
200 dresses.
yep, on page 7, that's where you stop. If you finish, if you get all the way to page 7 and you finished everything, then you can go back and start again. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, everybody understand?
Yes.
Okay, all right, so go ahead and start reading. Go back to the start, on the first page, or on page 2, and start reading for me right there.
Today, Monday, Wanda Petrovsky was not in her seat, but nobody, not even Peggy and Madeline, the girls who stood on foot, noticed her absence. Usually, Wanda sat in the next to the last seat in the last row in room 13. She sat in the corner of the room where the rough boys who did not make good marks on their report cards sat. The corner of the room where there was most scuffling of feet, most roars of laughter when anything was funny was said, and most mud and dirt on the floor. Wanda did not sit there because she was rough and nosy. On the contrary, she was very quiet and rarely said anything at all, and nobody had ever heard her laugh out loud sometimes she twisted her mouth into a crooked sort of a smile. But that was it. That was all.
Okay, go ahead and stop there. Okay, I like how you read with a lot of expression and you stopped where the periods were in the sentence. Okay, you were really paying attention to the punctuation. And then I also like how you corrected yourself where you were reading and there was a word that you weren't sure if you pronounced it right and you went back to the beginning of the word and said it again until it made sense. Okay? All right, good job. Keep reading. Okay, what page are you on?
Page 4.
Okay. Why don't you start reading right there for me what it says right there.
But no one really thought much about Wanda Bertonsky once she was in the classroom. The time they thought about her was outside of school hours, at noontime when they were coming back to school, or in the morning early before school began, when groups of 2 or 3 or even more would be talking and laughing on their way to the schoolyard. Then sometimes they waited for Wanda to have fun with her. The next day, Tuesday, Wanda was not in school either, and nobody noticed her absence again, except the teacher and probably Big Bill Byron, who sat in the seat behind Wanda's and who could now put his long legs around her empty desk, one on each side, and sit there like a frog, to the great entertainment of all in his corner of the room.
Okay, very good. Right. Same comments. I really like how you were paying attention to the punctuation, right? So you were pausing between sentences, and I didn't hear you mess up on any words, so you were doing a really great job. Okay? All right, keep reading. I'm noticing most of you are getting to the last page or next to last page or are starting again. So when you're finished reading, if you just want to put your thumb up at your desk to let me know that you're either reading for the second time or that you're finished. us to do is just, let's talk about what we know about what is happening in the story, the 100 Dresses so far, okay? So we want to summarize what we learned so far in the first chapter. Now, like I said, some of our questions and our wonderings from the pictures, we may not get all of the answers just in the first chapter, but we want to just talk about what we know about what's happening in the first chapter so far, okay? So I want you to think about this, and I'm going to have you talk to your same partners, okay? So Juanita and Valeria together, and you three boys together. So in chapter one of the 100 Dresses is about, and then see if you can tell me some of the details of some of what we do know, okay? So who is it about? What is happening? When is it happening? If we know, where, maybe why and how. So just kind of thinking about some of those facts, some of the things that we know about what's happening based on what we've read, okay? And I'm going to give you just a couple of minutes to turn and talk to your partners to summarize what just happened. What question do you have?
We're gonna have to just choose a word that we already know about.
Just anything that you know that's happening. It could be who it's about, what is happening, when it's happening. Those are just some ideas to get you going, okay? Okay. Go ahead.
It's about Wanda Bertonsky. It's about Wanda Bertonsky.
What about Wanda Bertonsky? So what more can you say about her that you already know from the first chapter?
She was probably bored because she couldn't the story. Yeah, I forgot the picture, but she doesn't come to school with dirty shoes.
Okay. Do we know that she always doesn't come to school?
Sometimes, right?
What do we know?
I think it was,
She's very quiet.
We know she's very quiet. Okay.
She doesn't smile. She just does a cricket smile.
Okay. So keep talking and discussing what we know about Wanda so far.
Country road.
I think her smile because her shoes became muddy and
There was
people
there.
Remember?
Because they said that he was putting his shoe and she wasn't there, so his shoe was putting her in her. But it never talked about it.
maybe that
Because
is
it says she came with dirty shoes. Miss Claire, explain. What's the cricket smile? How is it?
A crooked smile? I'm not sure if I can make a crooked
It's
smile
kinda
for you.
like
We'll come back to that in a second. Make a sec. Okay, keep going.
so that's mine. We know that she
Lives in country.
what do you think? Yeah, that she
I told you already that I think
lives in the house.
noticed she wasn't there, but when she was
that
there,
she
nobody
walks.
noticed.
So
So she doesn't have many friends.
she doesn't even have friends.
She does.
And the only girls that tease are make her.
No, listen.
No, it says the girls who side on the front notice. So it's not she's probably
And they said that she didn't talk, that's why probably she had one friend.
probably or probably she didn't have her parents.
Where
Look, Maddie was the closest
If you
friend.
had her parents, they would mostly take you to school and stuff.
Matt.
She was, Wanda's wasn't there. Peggy wasn't Peggy probably was Esther. She was probably really pretty close about her parents and she didn't have her hair was Curtis. Maddie was supposed to be her Peggy's supposed her parents passed away.
I couldn't believe she
But she
did.
didn't have any friends.
They said that they were complete.
Alright.
Okay, go ahead and finish what you're talking about. 5, 4,
And Maddie in the
Two.
school.
and 1.
Yes, they teach her.
Okay, Byron, let's come back to the whole group. Okay, so what I'd like to know is, what is happening so far? What do we know from the chapter that we've read so far? Okay, Valeria?
Wanda is not going to school.
Okay. Well, first of all, who is Wanda? What do we know about Wanda?
She doesn't smile. She has no friends. She's shy.
Did it tell us that she doesn't have any friends?
She
Yes.
said she had one.
She has one
She
friend?
has one.
No, she doesn't.
One or two, they said.
Who?
Who do we think her friends might be?
It's not Peggy and Maddie.
Yeah,
It is.
No, it's not.
One of them, because it said
It was her closest friend. No, they were talking that it was Peggy's closest friend.
Yeah.
So do we think that Peggy and Madeline are her friends?
No.
Okay.
I think
Let's go back to Peggy and Madeline
it
in a
did.
second.
No,
they
'cause
are
they
their friends
bullied
because
her.
it said that they waited for her.
Okay,
Yeah,
And
to
you
start all
said-
the fun.
maybe. So
That's what their friends said.
let's go back to what we do know about Wanda. What do we know about Wanda?
She's quiet.
She's quiet.
she never smiles.
She never smiles. You asked me about a crooked smile. What does it mean? What is crooked?
Like, not
What
straight.
does crooked mean? Or what would the opposite of crooked be?
Straight.
Straight. So a crooked smile
Like,
would be maybe not straight, maybe kind of, I don't know if I can make a crooked smile, but maybe kind of like that. So
Like
if
this?
someone's making a crooked smile, are they really expressing joy or what's happening, do you think?
Like this?
they're not expression. They're not expression.
They're not being very,
Happy.
they're not being very happy, maybe just a little happy. Okay. What else? What else do we know about Wanda? She's quiet,
doesn't
she
have-
sometimes maybe has a crooked smile, but she doesn't.
She doesn't have friends.
Do we know she doesn't have friends?
No.
Or is that just a wondering?
I wonder something.
Christian, you said something that I heard in your discussion. You said something about that when they notice Wanda. You said something about when she's there in school.
They don't notice that she's there, but when she's not, they notice.
So when she's in school, nobody really notices her. But when she's absent, suddenly everyone notices. Where's Wanda? Right?
We don't know.
Is she usually absent?
No.
Did chapter 1 tell us if she's usually absent?
No.
See if you can go back and find something in the
It
text
didn't
that
say
tells
that.
us that.
They only said Wanda
Today.
Petrovsky was not in her seat.
It says today, Monday,
You don't have to read the whole thing.
Wanda Petrosky.
Talk to your partners. See if you can find the evidence
I
in the
know.
text where it tells us if Wanda is usually someone who misses school.
I don't think so, because it says
No, look.
Trotsky was
Wait,
not
no,
in her
look,
seat.
look.
But no one
Usually
even
Wanda sat in the next.
not even Peggy and Madeline, the girls who started all the fun, noticed her absence. Because they wouldn't have
No,
said it.
look. It
There
says,
was absolutely root, correct?
It says usually Wanda sat in the next to the last.
I think
seat
if they
in the
wouldn't have
last
noticed,
one.
she wouldn't have been
Nobody
absent.
knew exactly why Wanda sat in
Because you know how
this
people
place.
get absent, right?
Because
Nope.
she
They
came-
did
hold on.
daily absent. They
Came all
should
the
know.
way from Bogut,
Probably they do a pattern or something like that, and
and
they notice and they're
and
like,
her
oh,
feet were
yeah, she's not
usually
from the school
caked
today,
with
and
dry
then-
mud, and she picked up.
So it might be a pattern that's happening. If
Thank
it
you.
was that she misses school.
No,
Okay.
she always.
What do you guys think? Okay, Juanita, you seem like you had an idea.
Yeah, I already noticed that she doesn't. I don't think she has shoes. No.
She does have,
She
she
does
has
have
dirty
shoes?
shoes.
Yeah, dirty shoes, and that she always have to walk everywhere.
Yeah, her shoes are always what? What did it
They're
say?
dirty.
They're always dirty.
Dirty
So
already because she would always walk into the
Yeah,
she
the
walks.
country road.
She's probably poor.
that could be.
Yeah.
But what do we know? Did we find anything from the
No.
text that tells us whether Wanda's usually absent?
No, because if she would have been absent, they wouldn't have noticed. Because some people could be absent and they could start not coming to school and it can turn into a pattern that they will notice eventually.
Mhm. So we think that this is unusual.
Yes.
That Wanda is absent. And is this the first day that she's been absent?
Yeah.
Yes.
No,
No.
Yeah.
she's been absent.
What did it say?
On Monday she's been absent. She was absent.
I'm thinking that there was
It says right here.
something that told us how many days she had been absent
It
from
says
school.
the next day, Tuesday, Wanda was not in school either.
The next day, Tuesday, what page is that on, Juanita?
First.
Page 4. Does everybody see that?
Yes.
Four?
Yes.
So we know that Wanda has missed at least how many days of school?
2.
At least 2 days of school, right? Okay, now who are Peggy and Maddie? We talked a little bit about them.
Friends?
the girls that teased her.
Okay, so it says that they waited for her. Byron, you brought up earlier that they waited for her, and that was what made them,
Friends.
well, were they on time to school?
No.
They were waiting for Wanda, but did she show up?
No.
For school, she didn't show up. So they usually wait for her, it said, but it said to do what? Why do they wait with her?
To have fun with her.
To have fun with her. And what do we think that means to have
Like
fun?
they're friends.
her.
Bully.
They're bullies now.
Maybe to bully her?
Or to pull her hair, put it.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
I think
Tease.
they do.
Well, I think that's one of those things that we don't know, that maybe we'll find out a little bit
Teaser.
more.
Teaser because she always wears the same clothes.
Maybe so. We learned a little bit about that at the
What?
beginning before we started.
But
right?
why would her closest friend bully her?
Maybe
The
she
That's
best
not
doesn't
her
have-
closest friend.
Well,
Cause look,
It
What
says
says-
right here. It says Peggy was the most popular girl in school. She was pretty. She had pretty clothes, and her auburn hair was curly. Maddie was her closest friend. They're talking about that. Maddie is Peggy's closest friend.
so we know Maddie and Peggy are friends, but we don't know yet if Maddie and Peggy are really friends with Wanda, or if they just wait for Wanda to tease
tease
her, right? So I think we'll find out a little bit more
it
about
said,
that.
it said it said Wanda Petrossi was not in her seat, but nobody, not even Peggy and Madeline, the girls who started at Osborne, noticed her absence.
The
Yeah.
first day they didn't notice her absence, right? But the next day they noticed that she wasn't there because they waited for her and she didn't show up, right? So now they know. So now we know what's happening in the story, right? We know it's about a girl named Wanda who hasn't showed up for school. We know that two of her classmates, Peggy and Maddie, they waited for her on the second day, but Wanda didn't show up, right? We're not really sure why yet, are we? We don't really have that answer yet. Do we know where this is taking place exactly?
In school.
It's
and
taking
in her
place at the
house.
school, right?
Outside her house.
We know that, did we hear where Wanda lives? She lives in a place called
Oh yeah,
Boggins
Boggins
Heights.
Heights.
She lives at Boggins Heights, and we know that she has to walk on what?
on her feet.
Road.
On the country roads to get to school, right? And that could be why her shoes are always
Muddy.
muddy and dirty when she gets to school,
Probably
right?
it's where. Probably she's where it always rains.
That could be. It could be that it rains a lot, and that's why there's a lot of mud. So I'm thinking about some of the bigger ideas that we're learning maybe in this first chapter. Besides just what we already know, what I'm starting to wonder is why Wanda isn't in school. It sounds like some of the students maybe tease her, maybe wait for her to tease her, but that's kind of normal.
We don't.
But we know that it doesn't seem normal that she's missed 2 days, right? 2 days of school. Because it sounds like her classmates think that that's unusual, right? So I want you to just to kind of think about what might be the reasons why Wanda's not in school. Just kind of talk about that to your partners.
Maybe she doesn't want to get teased.
Or maybe
Yeah, I think.
yeah, cause
Maybe she
she
doesn't want to
gets
get bullied
teased.
anymore.
And she's
And
sad.
she probably
Cause they
wanna go
tease her
to move
because
another
of-
school because she went another school.
The
and
dress.
they go there
Oh,
and get-
yeah. And
Wait,
maybe
so she didn't want to come to school and she
maybe
walked
she
it.
doesn't want to go to school
That's
But
just a
the
picture.
Probably that was the first day.
because she
So Monday,
doesn't have
today
friends.
Monday, Wanda,
Yeah.
She's sad.
And she feels
but nobody.
lonely.
Yeah.
And people tease her.
But if people
she's having
would
a
tease
bad
her, they would always look at
life.
her. But they don't do that
Probably she doesn't.
Yeah.
because if they
The
would tease
problem
her
is
every day,
she
they
just
would have
wants
noticed.
to
Makes
sit
her
in her
emotional
bed
second day.
and cry all
But they
day.
waited for her to tease her.
Maybe.
But she was not there.
Okay,
And why
she
didn't
read that.
the first day didn't notice? They would have noticed the first day.
Okay, good job, guys. Okay, so what are we thinking? What are some of the bigger ideas that we're thinking right now? Yes? Olivia?
She's probably sad because she gets teased a lot and she doesn't want to get teased a lot, so she didn't go to school.
Does anyone agree with that? That maybe she's sad? Do you agree with that, Christian? You're
I
nodding?
do.
Yeah, what makes you agree with that?
The fact that she didn't go to school and it said that they teased her because they waited for her, but she didn't come.
She didn't come.
So they probably
Did
did
it
that
say
every
they
day.
teased her?
It said that they waited for her.
But there could be
Let
two
this-
ways. They could be to play with her or to tease her.
But that
That's okay. We're wondering at this point, right? We're kind of wondering and predicting what might happen next. Okay, Luis?
Probably she want her parents, and now that she come out her parents, now them two girls doesn't like bully her.
So you think she's gonna bring her parents with her to school?
But she still didn't
Nah.
go to school.
Is that what you were saying? Sorry, go ahead.
Nah, I think that one that want her parents, but her parents not there.
Oh, okay. So she wished she had
Yeah.
her parents with her. Okay, that could be a possibility. Okay,
I
what do you
think she is sad and she doesn't go to school because she doesn't have any friends that she could talk to
Maybe
about
she
how
doesn't
her
go to
day, what the life happening about.
So she doesn't have anyone to talk to.
About
I mean, I think if people don't really notice when she's at school, they only notice when she's gone, then maybe she doesn't have a lot of friends
Yeah,
because,
If they wouldn't have teased her, they wouldn't have waited for her. They wouldn't have noticed because it said that they tease her. They would tease her every single day, but it said on Monday that they didn't even notice.
Mhm. So I wonder about that too. If they tease her every day, and this is something that's happening all the time, then why would she not show up on these 2 days?
Yeah.
So what do we think might happen next in the story? When we get to chapter 2, which we'll have to wait and do next time, think for a second, just to yourselves. What do we think might be the next thing that's going to happen? And I'm gonna write down some of your predictions. And then when we get to the next chapter, we'll see if we have some of those predictions that might come true. Okay, Luis.
Probably wonder, did she walk back to school again? They're gonna tease her again, but probably a student's gonna see her and probably like help her,
So you think someone might help her? Okay.
or like a teacher.
What do you think, Byron? Anything you wanna add to that?
She's gonna probably show up to school.
So you think she's gonna show up? But why do you think she will have been absent those 2 days? Not sure yet? Okay, all right, what do you think, Valeria?
I think that she's gonna go back to school and people are gonna start bullying her, but then she's gonna get mad and tired of people bullying her, so she's gonna stand up for herself.
Okay. All right, what about you?
I think that she's gonna go back to school and then she's gonna be making friends.
Okay, so
Can I
I've
say
written
more?
down, you can, yes.
I think she's gonna go back to school wearing another dress.
You think she's going to go back to school wearing another dress, a
Maybe.
different dress?